Now. 2 balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. It's his way back. Walk the ball. Chris Taylor.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Scott Geirman, senior writer, Dodger Blue. I'm here with my good buddy Blake, managing editor. How we doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Happy the season's over. Get a break here, and we get to the fun part of the season, the only part Dodger fans seem to care about. So, yeah, here we are.
Can you blame them, though? Can you blame them? Going into October, I mean, we've come to expect this sort of regular season dominance. And now clock turns to October, calendar turns to October. Kind of what we look forward to, man.
I mean, I can't blame fans, but I do think sometimes we also need to take a step back and realize the run they've been on in the regular seasons for the past 12 years is also a pretty special thing, too. Of course, you want to see it end with more championships, but you can make a case they did win one in 2017, and they, of course, won in 2020, and they've been close 2 other times. So it's been a pretty good run, and I think we need to put that into some perspective.
I think we do. I think it's just that the celebrations like that are very short-lived. And I see people in chat welcoming you guys, 300. We're going to let you guys all roll in. We appreciate you a bunch. We've got a couple topics to chat about tonight. We're going to chat sweep. We're going to chat NLDS, wild card scenarios here, all MLB team stuff. So really exciting things to get into. We're going to do some reflection, some recognition stuff. We're going to chat. Where do you want to start tonight, Blake? I just want to know real quick your thoughts heading in, kind of what's the Blake barometer with the last part of the regular season. Dodgers, of course, finish the year 98-64, best record in Major League Baseball. A roller coaster season, a roller coaster second half here. A lot of question marks. They've answered the bell. They answered the bell for all the questions of if they could, can they get it together? Patience, preached it. We did it. The roster shuffled a bit. They brought in guys that filled critical pieces to the team. Dodgers roll into the playoffs, winners of their last 5 games, 8 of their last 10. Absolutely, locked it in. Shohei Ohtani led the way. Kind of what's the Blake barometer at right now?
I mean, first we have a bunch of questions about me not wearing a hat. I just washed my hair, so it's wet. Didn't want to put a hat on. But regarding the team, I think they're in a pretty good spot. Like, I've made my case known. I think they're going to win the World Series this year, and they ended the season strong. They have a lot of things going for them well. Of course, the rotation is a question mark, but at the same time, every single team in baseball has a question mark. The Dodgers still finish as the winningest team in MLB for a reason, because they're a really good team. I feel confident that Shohei Ohtani is going to step up. I like Teoscar Hernandez being added into the lineup this year, which I think is going to make a huge difference in the postseason. It's just a lot of factors that they didn't have last year that ended up hurting them that they do have this year. And even though we talk about the rotation as a weakness for the team, it's still not in a terrible spot. Like, they're far better than they were last year. They have 2 really good pitchers at the top of the rotation, and that's kind of all you need. So overall, I'm feeling pretty good. It was a good season. Despite everything that went wrong, they had a really good year. So not too much to complain about right now.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, Dodgers finish out the year. I believe September record was 16-10. They took care of business when the moment called for it. It was all about just, can they step up against these teams? They took care of business. I'll keep pinpointing a couple series here. The Arizona Diamondback series, I believe at the end of August, turning in there. They win 3 of 4 when the division could have skewed one way or another. They answered the call there against the Diamondbacks front-end starting guys. And not the subpar options for the Dodgers when you go head-to-head matchups. You can see there was a little bit of a 1-1. So they answered it there, take 3 of 4, and then you go against this series with the Padres and take care of business there after a blunder in the first game with that triple play. So for me, I agree that this is a talented team. There's no way around it. I feel worlds better going into the playoffs now with the options they have at the front end of the rotation, just because we see the success. We've seen it. Flaherty's been solid. Yamamoto's been what he has since he's come off the IL. Thankfully, he's going to be a stabilizing force here. And they recently talked about the 4 arms they're going to carry kind of as their front, their starters going into October. You want to list those off again real quick?
Yeah, so they have Jack Flaherty, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Walker Buehler, and Landon Knack.
Yeah. Of Landon Knack, of what you've seen from him lately, confidence level with him. He goes 4 innings today, allows 5 hits, just 1 earned run, gets 4 strikeouts there. He's been good. He's been good. Of course, the home run ball has been a thing for him, but he's going to pound the strike zone. He's going to pitch, with a chip on his shoulder, with an attitude. Kind of, where are you with Landon Knack here, and where are you with Walker Buehler?
I'm like a 5 to a 6 in confidence out of 10 for both of them, I think. I mean, I don't think there's any team that really trusts their 3 and 4 starters. The Padres maybe, but like I'd point out, the Dodgers just took 2 or 3 from the Padres. Their top starters going, well, the Dodgers had one of their top starters and then their 3 and 4 starters. So I don't know. I know Ranger Suarez is the Phillies' number 3 or 4 guy, and he has been awful in the second half. Like, he had a Cy Young caliber first half, and in the second half, he's been a mess. I'm not sure there's any team that really has great number 3 or 4 starters, so I'm not like entirely confident in them, but I think they can get the job done, and that's kind of all you need from them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and from what we've seen, it's just about keeping them in the ball game, one working with the other there, how kind of having that seesaw effect where they just kind of have to have one and the other. They need to let the offense go for it. And from what we've seen with the offense and Shohei Ohtani right at the top there, the game finding him in seeming every which way, the big moment finding him, and he's answered the bell, even making a run at the Triple Crown here and up to the final days to add on to his storybook season in his first year with the Dodgers. I know for a fact you feel confident with where the offense is at.
Yeah, no concerns at all there. I mean, they're going to have some ups and downs in this playoffs. Like, it's going to happen, but overall, I think they're going to be good enough.
Absolutely. So we'll chat real quick. We'll talk about the Dodgers sweeping the Rockies. They just kind of steamrolled their way straight into the playoffs here. I don't think anybody in chat. What's up, you guys? We appreciate it. Again, thanks for joining us. TQT, Nomo, Iris, Kira, Roy, everybody, Kenny. Thank you as always for this roller coaster season. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for joining us, every single night here. We're going to get to all these questions in chat. If you have any super chats, toss those in. We'll stop what we're doing. We'll take a couple minutes. We'll chat about that topic again. And we appreciate all the support. Just do us one favor. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Thanks for everybody joining across all social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Thank you a bunch here. I know people at the end of the season, even at the end of my day in the sun all day coaching, girls softball, I was spent. I needed a little nap. I know a lot of people after the game today probably took a big, deep breath that 162 game roller coaster finally came to an end. They can see the postseason schedule, and you start to feel it. You start to feel that postseason fire where you understand, and Dodger fans understand, that it all comes down to this critical moment here where it matters or it doesn't, and it all concentrates on one thing. And I know that kind of the abrupt stop of the season kind of stinks, because after all this time there, it all comes to a head. Postseason baseball, you play 162 and your season can be over very fast there. So let's stick with the Rockies. Let's stick with the Rockies sweep here. With this sweep, what are some things you loved? What are some things you didn't love? If there's nothing you didn't love, then bring it up. But what'd you love, buddy?
Aside from Kevin Kiermaier's finger injury, they stayed healthy. That was the only thing I cared about going into the series. There was nothing to play for. Everything was clinched by the time the series started. So that was the only thing. I mean, I don't think Kevin Kiermaier is going to be on the playoff roster, so hurts for him. It's disappointing for him, but he was probably just going to be on the taxi squad anyway, so it doesn't really affect the Dodgers' outlook for the playoffs there. So yeah, I'm all good with that. We saw Knack show some signs of like bouncing back. We saw Yamamoto turn in a good start. The pitching was good. The bullpen was phenomenal. The offense stepped up. Like, they didn't have anything to play for on Saturday, and they still scored 13 runs. Like, it's a good sign. But yeah, the main thing is no one got hurt. That's really my only takeaway from that series, because I didn't really see anything bad from it, and even if there was, it didn't matter to begin with.
I saw Jeff sparked up some people about him telling him Ohtani to stop running, stop hitting. What was that all about?
Yeah, I guess he told Ohtani to not chase 55-60, and a lot of people didn't like that. But I get where Jeff is coming from. I think
absolutely.
as fans, we want to see 55, 60. As if we were being more rational about it than like fandom, I think a lot of people would say, yeah, maybe just put on the brakes a bit. Don't push yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a remarkable end of the season. You just like it looked up at every big spot. It felt like Ohtani was there. He came up so much. It's an unbelievable full circle moment for him because earlier in the year, you remember just the questions. I remember getting stories, writing stories for us at DB about Ohtani with runners in scoring position here and looking at his the polar opposite to the start of the year about how, he's just been terrific. He's playing with the Angels. He's been solid throughout his career with runners in scoring position there. But a lot of people harping on him for pressing too much. And we learned that it was more so of a mindset for him, and now this last stretch here where he made things even more interesting, pushing for that Triple Crown. At one point, I remember I've got a friend who's a diehard Brewers fan, and him bringing up to me that Willie Adames was right at the top for lead in runs batted in there. And then I look at the end of the year, and Shohei Ohtani's so far past him now that it's deep breath moment where you're like, my God, like the tear that he was on, nobody can sustain this aside from him. I haven't seen anybody this locked in. You've got Aaron Judge in the American League, put up perhaps one of the best seasons for a right-handed hitter, maybe ever. We've got Shohei Ohtani here in Los Angeles, absolutely putting up one of the best seasons I'll ever see in my lifetime. So he continues to do it. He pushes for the Triple Crown here. But I want to give, a special shout out to Edgardo Henriquez today for having his first career save. He wraps up the final game of the regular season here, throws a solid ninth inning, gets 2 punch, walks 1. So for Edgardo Henriquez, who's putting up a very interesting case for a postseason spot there, have you seen enough of him to put himself really in consideration, or you think that's going to come down to some veteran presence for him to have a spot?
I think with the injuries, he's definitely a lock at this point to make the roster. Losing Honeywell and Bruce Dargarado kind of made that tough. I think even before that, I would have put him on 2 over like Joe Kelly or Daniel Hudson. I think both of them make the roster now with the injuries.
Volatility-wise, over Joe Kelly, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he has so much upside that they weren't just giving him an opportunity to come up and throw 4 innings in the regular season or whatever it was. Like, they brought him up to see if his stuff is ready, if he's poised enough to handle the moment, and he completely showed he was. And I think it would be a huge mistake if he isn't on their postseason roster. We've seen what some rookies have done in the postseasons in the past, kind of stepping up into those moments, and he's the guy with the stuff who can do it. And also, just a side note here, with him getting the save today that set a new Dodger record, it's a single season amount of pitchers who recorded a save in the year. So they have 14 pitchers record a save this year, which broke their previous record of 13, which
unbelievable.
I think was 2022 or 2021, one of those years. But yeah, so a lot of different saves this year.
Just how ridiculous, man. I mean, that stuff I didn't know. I know they're using a crazy amount of pitchers, but Edgardo Henriquez, 22-year-old here, the elevation for him, I think he started the year, was it high A ball?
Yeah.
Starts in high A ball and closes out. That's a storybook ending to a season. If you're talking about prospect rise, this is someone who we've been hearing about for months. Like, we just, right before he got the call, we were wondering, we got a lot of people talking about, I remember us just speaking about it. Like, if somebody asks, is there any possibility that Henriquez could make the roster? And we're like, we're getting to the last few days here, the last week. And then it just, finally happens. And what a cool moment for him, a 22-year-old to get called up here, Dodgers 15th prospect here, MLB pipeline. And he closes out the final game of the regular season. And he's, from what you say and stuff I agree with, that he's looking at a postseason roster spot here and see if he can. What a rise, man. Like, that's incredible stuff. What else about Henriquez, man? I mean, did you ever envision this for the kid?
I think we knew the upside was there, like 104 topping out with his fastball, and then his slider can come in at 94. Like, that's stuff that plays up at the major league level. All you have to do is throw it for strikes and you're going to be in a good spot. Yeah. So he definitely kind of came out of nowhere this year. I don't think anyone really knew about him until this year, but so it's hard to kind of say like we expected it or anything like that, but definitely for sure he's been a very pleasant surprise for the team. And hopefully he can continue it into the playoffs, and maybe he's a potential future closer for this team.
Yeah, a lot of people just with some good thoughts here on Henriquez, man. I mean, yeah, people saying he's still holding off on some of that gas for sure. I mean, he's got a lot in the tank there. Definitely a lot in the tank. You guys hating on Brent Honeywell's mullet? I've got a mullet, and it's the best. I'm all in. You guys got a Kenny Powers haircut? Let the curls flow. Shout out to Brent Honeywell. Hope he gets back. Own you all with the turtleneck, curly hair. Let's do it. Yeah. Blake dreams to have a mullet like mine. Thoughts, Blake?
I plead the fifth.
Perfect. There we go. Yeah. Let's see Scott's hair. End of the show. Remind me. $5 super chat. I showed the hair. All right. Got some super chats here. Some love for Dave Roberts. He's managed well overall this year with all the injuries. Absolutely. Also, after the Padres series, feels more prepared if we face them. Break that down.
I mean, I've been saying Roberts has done a good job all year. He's not always going to make the right decisions, but the stuff this team went through this year to still finish with the best record in baseball in the National League West, it's impressive. They could have easily folded out multiple times and just kind of fell apart, given up on the season, but they didn't. I think that's a credit to him and the team itself. So I think he did a good job this year. I've said this quite a bit. And then with the Padres series, I'm not sure it changed the outlook for me. Like, I don't see a ton of correlation in the regular season to the playoffs. We've seen in the past the Dodgers have dominated the Padres, and then the Padres won in the NLDS. We see that kind of stuff happen all the time. So I think it helps make us feel a little more comfortable, but like in reality, it doesn't change much for the outcome of the games.
Sure. I think that, guys, we can get into a lot of stuff Blake's brought up, and we've talked about a lot, is fanning the flame or, cooling the flames on stuff with Dave Robertson about player performance in spots like that. And, some of these guys, a lot of fans got on Mookie Betts for some down performance in the Padres series there. And then he has, a couple big swings, couple big, spots there, 2-hit game, big moments with runners in scoring position here. Freddie Freeman, and then he gets, a couple knocks there. But I think that a lot of it gets lost in that player performance matters. And I think that with Dave Roberts, tactical decision-making can be questioned for sure at some times there. Execution in different spots has to be another conversation. So isolated incidents for sure. But I'm very happy with the way that they've answered back. I took it like after a direct thing for me was like, 2020 playoffs there in that World Series where it was the wacky walk-off in how, Kenley Jansen's up there, Randy Arozarena scores, and then it feels like you get punched in the gut. In that first game against the Padres, they turned a trip, and all sides point to it. I was like, they're going to tie this game. They're going to come up. They're going to make this happen here. Suarez just doesn't have a hold on it. I felt that they were going to win that ball game. Triple play, punched in the gut. Next 2 games, it's all about responding. I still said the Dodgers are going to take the West there. It's just a matter of them rising to that occasion, bouncing back in there. So they did it. I think a lot of that comes from calm temperament. So I agree with you. And Cordnez, a lot of love for Roberts, and that doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's real baseline. And that's what annoys people. A lot of people want fiery managing. Certain times we understand it. It's all about just being able to answer the bell. And there's been a consistent theme for that in these big series. So now at this point, and when they didn't let down, when the season could have trended one way or another, is my biggest point here. Against the Diamondbacks, when it could have happened. Against the Padres, when it could have happened. They took care of business. In a National League West that wasn't so rock solid runaway. So Dodgers came out on top there. And for sure, I feel like they were more prepared as far as performance, temperament. And I love what we saw. From Roy, this one might take a little bit of thinking because I don't know if we have it. I don't know if we have the full chart here. He says, Scott and Blake, can you take a guess on who will make the 26-man playoff roster? Go Blue. But first off, Roy, thank you so much for the support, as always. Thank you for the super chat there. We're glad you're here on this Sunday night. Thanks for joining us following this 162. We're going to have some fun. We're excited to keep you around. How do we take a crack at this, Blake? Are we going to go straight down, or can you talk any surprises? We know
We can go for
We can go-
26.
We can go bit by bit. We can go bit by bit. Just bear with us a bit. Because the first round always gets interesting here because of how many starters do you carry? What do you do for long men? Stuff like that. Break it down. That's why I got you, man.
Yeah, so I think I wrote down the pitching staff the last time we were on here.
What a goat.
Let me see if I still have that.
What a goat.
Yeah, okay. So I have the 13 pitchers, I think. We got Jack Flaherty, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Walker Buehler, Landon Knack, Michael Kopech, Blake Trinan, Evan Phillips, Ryan Brazier, Alex Vesia, Anthony Banda, Edgardo Henriquez, Daniel Hudson, and Joe Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And then position player side, I think it's pretty straightforward there. We got Will Smith and Austin Barnes, Freddie Freeman, Gavin Lux, Chris Taylor, Miguel Rojas, Tommy Edman, Kike Hernandez, Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pajes, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani. I believe that's 13.
Think so.
I don't think I said Miggy Rowe, right? Yeah. Pretty sure that's it.
You're locked in.
So the bench would be 4 players. So that would be Kike, Chris Taylor, Austin Barnes, and Andy Pajes. So yeah, that's your 13 and 13.
All righties.
I think how they're going to do that is like Gavin Lux is going to be their lefty pinch hitter because he won't start versus lefties, so they'll have him on the bench when they need to bring in the lefty later in the game. I think that's kind of how they're viewing it. A lot of people are talking about Brent Honeywell not being on the roster. He's injured and he's out for the NLDS. They can't activate him until later. Ben Kasparius, they just optioned him. I believe they could put him back on, but I think they would just go with the veteran guys that they have, especially with it being a shorter series.
People saying no Ben Kasparius. Any objections to that?
Well, that's what I just said about the veterans going ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, make a case for him. If they were to keep him, what would have to happen?
You're going to have to take off Daniel Hudson or Joe Kelly, and I don't really see that being the case. So I would like to see him on the roster. I think his stuff would play up, and I think he's showed a lot so far, but I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah. It's something that with the Dodgers, the way that they operate, I would love to see Ben Kasparius here. I would love to see it. Yeah, TQT said the multi-inning role. I think it plays into a lot. People saying they have some feelings about Daniel Hudson. Kind of where are you at with Daniel Hudson? Because even after that rest period, he still showed some signs here. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put him on the playoff roster. If everyone was healthy, I wouldn't put him on the playoff roster, but I don't think the Dodgers leave him off. He's been one of their guys all year. They tend to stick with their guys.
Okay. Yeah. That's kind of how they operate, man. I agree with you. I think something will have to happen. Injury. They might see him. He's definitely got the stuff. We talked about his stuff plus. All his stuff played up in, throughout the minor leagues there. He graded out incredibly high for a lot of things. And it's played out directly into, Major League Baseball here. And he's got some really fun data. I'm super excited about Benny Caps. He's got a great future here. So yeah, Roy, that's your 26, man. You heard it from Blakey. There's a lot of stuff too. There's not many spots on the postseason roster that are up for debate. It might get in some ticky-tack stuff with pitching, but I think from where they're at there, it's pretty rock solid here. I don't think we're going to have any big time surprises, barring any injuries or anything like that. Rich, what's up, man? We have been kicked in the nuts so many times. Facts. I don't care who we play. Bring it on. Get 4+ innings from starters, offense, and bullpen seals the win.
I agree. I think you want to see Yamamoto or Flaherty give you 5 or 6 innings, ideally 6. But if you're getting 4 quality innings from Buehler and Knack, I think you can live with that and be good enough. They're going to have the off days, and things are kind of spread out a little bit more in the postseason to help your bullpen. So the bullpen and the lineup is the strength of this team, and I think they need to play up to that, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich, we've seen it. It's been my theme for, this year when we've and leading up to now when we've recently spoken about postseason stuff. Blake and I both believe, and I think a lot of Dodger fans, like a lot of guys in chat, believe that they've got what it takes to kind of forge, push on to a title. But I, for myself, just because of the ghost and what we talk about it, guys, what I say, the boogeyman, get that boogeyman off the back about National League Division Series stuff against the Padres and Diamondbacks here, and all roads leading perhaps to another collision course with the Padres again. So it's a matter of getting past the division series round, and then we can talk championship series stuff here. And then in a 7-game offense gets rolling, I don't see that being a problem for this team. I think they can not steamroll, but it's a crazy offense. It's a crazy top of the order. And with Shohei Ohtani as locked in as he can be and game changing, Mookie Betts getting those opportunities there. Hopefully he stays locked, can get locked in here. Freddie Freeman, hopefully he's doing it okay. Like that rest time gives him enough time to stay himself. Teoscar Hernandez has been very good lately. Gavin Lux has kind of found a stride. Do you believe that they're playing as good a baseball as they can play going in? And does this make you feel differently when we look now in terms of like 2023 and years prior?
I think they're playing about as good as you could see them playing. I think they've won 5 straight now. So yeah, they're in a good spot. I still don't think there's really any correlation to ending the regular season hot and going into the playoffs. Like last year, the Diamondbacks seemed like they were trying to lose their playoff spot heading into the playoffs. They were losing every game and just weren't playing well at all. And then they come out and head to the World Series. 2017 Dodgers kind of did the same thing. They were very flat in the final few weeks of the season. Throughout the whole month of September, I think it was, they were just playing terrible and everyone was questioning, like, this team isn't for real. What are they going to do? And then they kind of ran through the playoffs until the World Series. So I don't think there's much correlation at all to the regular season and the playoffs. It's a completely fresh start. Anything can happen. So it's good to see them playing well. You don't want to see them playing bad, but I don't think it matters too much either way.
For sure. I want to toss this one up here just because you started real early. Ohtani's WAR, I think he's talking about F-WAR is 9.1. Do you think if Ohtani wasn't on the Dodgers wouldn't have made the playoffs?
They wouldn't have won the division for sure. I think that's pretty obvious. I think they probably would have been in a battle for a playoff spot near the end here. They might have just missed out, but yeah, Ohtani kind of carried this team while Mookie was out. Once he was out, Will Smith was struggling. Freddie Freeman had some stretches where he was away.
Yeah,
the pitching rotation, just a mess. Like, it's hard to say they would have won like 10 less games or whatever it is without Ohtani, but they might have. So Ohtani is the clear MVP. I think that's very obvious to anyone who has watched any baseball at all this year.
For sure.
Not any West Coast bias coming in there, but yeah, like I would say they probably wouldn't have made the playoffs without Ohtani.
Yeah, you take away those 9+ win, and they're right smack dab with the Braves and the Mets. Of course, it's not as easy as just the math there because his influence factors other people. It factors into everything. It's his influence and his presence throughout an offense and throughout a team carries kind of the mentality and that through an entire season. So I think it would be just on the cusp. It would be they'd be battling. Let's just say we'd be having a completely different conversation. So it leads right into another one here. When's the last time any of us seen a player play worth their whole contract in their first year?
Their whole contract. Like, are we saying Ohtani's a $700 million player this year alone? Or are we just saying like he played up to the first year of his contract actually? Because that's also kind of rare. I would say he didn't play $700 million worth of production this year.
Okay.
Maybe by the marketing and everything else he brought in, sure. So maybe. The other name that came to mind for me was like Zach Greinke. He was fantastic for his time with the Dodgers. I don't think he ever had a down year with them. Kershaw's played up to his contract throughout his entire career. It's pretty rare. Like, I know the Padres probably have some regrets about the Bogaerts contract. I would say Trey Turner's been playing up to his Phillies contract pretty well so far. Whether that lasts or not, I don't know. I think Seager had a down year his first year with the Rangers, some injuries, and then came back the next year.
Nobody even close to this. Nobody even close to what he's doing. Like, let's just get that out. It's like the top slab, and then what he's doing right now, pushing for a triple crown, historic stuff, and then the rest of everybody else. And that the rest of it gets paid, the largest contract in sports history. And he shatters record books here. Gives us incredible stuff, incredible content forever. We can talk about, this season. I'll be remembering this stuff forever. So I'll answer his question. We have not. I have never seen anything like this. The last time, I haven't seen it. I've never seen anyone touch anything like this. Not even close to this type of production here.
To answer this one, no, I don't think the Triple Crown would have changed it for me. 5 points of batting average or whatever it was is like 2 hits over the course of a season or something. I don't really care about that.
Yeah, for sure. My goodness. All right. Got one super chat here. Any word on, pull that down. Thank you, buddy. We already tossed that up.
Wrong. Right.
Any word on why they didn't do dress up day this year? Did the team think it was a distraction? I mean, I don't know if they, to the point of like, oh, it's a distraction. Then we can narrative this and say they're all business. It's all business, baby. Take away, we take the top spot here, 5 in a row, eight of their last 10 games, all business. First in, last out, lunch pail guys, suit and tie to ball games. Yeah, no banana suits, nothing. All business.
I think they wear sweatpants and hoodies to the games, though. So kind of breaking your narrative there. But
nope. Mentality.
I think it just kind of came to a point where they were so focused on the division and trying to get in the playoffs there, like it happened at the end, that didn't matter as much. Like, you got to kind of plan ahead for the dress-up days, and usually they've run away with the division, but this year they didn't win it until 3 or 4 days ago at this point now. So, yeah, I just think it kind of happened like that. They didn't give any reason or anything. Maybe they can do a dress-up day for their World Series parade.
This guy. All right, we'll shift gears here. I really want to talk about, the NLDS and the postseason outlook and some of these wild card scenarios. So we'll just go straight off the top here that tomorrow, the league, the regular season slate ended today, but there is a doubleheader going on tomorrow between the Mets and the Braves that really, really matters. This has potential implications on the Dodgers, because some of these teams, either the Braves or the Mets or the Diamondbacks could end up facing the Dodgers. I've got them up here. Do you know the scenarios? Do you want me to list them? I've got them.
I know them, but if you have them pulled up, you should go.
Let's do it. So everybody chat, listen up, get the pen and paper. You can pull it up. If the Braves sweep the doubleheader tomorrow, then the Braves and the Diamondbacks are in and the New York Mets are out. If the Mets sweep the doubleheader tomorrow, the Mets and the Diamondbacks are in and the Atlanta Braves are out. If the Braves and the Mets split the doubleheader tomorrow, the Braves and the Mets are both in, and the Arizona Diamondbacks collapse their season away. They'll be out. In the scenarios here, let me pull it up. I had it. Let's see. If the Mets, let me see, seeding purposes wise, the San Diego Padres, so they're locked in as the number 1 wildcard team and the 4th seed in the National League. Arizona can only reach as the 6th seed because they've lost both the tiebreakers to the Mets and the Braves. If the Braves and the Mets both advance, the Braves will have the 5 seed and the Mets will have the 6th seed. And that matters because the Padres play the 5th seed. So a lot of stuff there. And the 6th seed will end up playing the Brewers. So if it's Padres will play the 5th seed. So if it's the Mets or the Braves will be the 5th seed. Padres will play the Padres will play the Braves, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of stuff potentially coming for the Dodgers there, and who can knock off the Padres. And if the Padres end up, reigning supreme, yeah, there's a lot of implications there. Do you have an ideal scenario, Blake?
No, I don't think any postseason matchup ever is ideal.
Okay.
It is what it is. I think we're going to see Dodgers-Padres in the NLDS again. I think the Mets and Braves split tomorrow, so I think the Diamondbacks get eliminated, which would set up the Mets and Padres, I think, right? Let me double check that.
One more time, repeat that.
If the Braves and Mets split tomorrow, which I think happens, then it would set up the Padres playing the Mets, I believe, and Atlanta would play Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we get the Braves Padres series. I think, yeah, that's how it's probably going to end up going.
It'll be Braves and the Padres. Yep.
And whatever happens there, like Chris Sale could steal a game for the Braves, and then who knows what happens after that. I still think the Padres will probably come out ahead, but it's thinking Dodger Padres again.
It's kind of leaning that way. Collision course. Yeah, and there's some conversations. I haven't looked at probable starters for tomorrow. Let me see. I want to see because I saw some stuff on Twitter about perhaps Chris Sale going in the second game of the doubleheader there because they haven't really announced anyone yet because it's Schwellenbach for the first game and the second game is a TBD. So Matty Man says Chris Sale's pitching game 2. They're putting full stop in, and then the wild card series begins on Tuesday. You get 18 innings tomorrow, and then you've got to turn around and go play a wild card series, for game 1 here. Yeah, Chris TQT, he says Chris Sale's going game 2 if they lose game 1. I saw that as well. So a lot of stuff potentially coming in the first game of for the Dodgers. Winner of that will play, open up a division series matchup in Dodger Stadium on Saturday, October 5th. There'll be 2 games. So Saturday, Sunday for game 1, game 2. Then they go on the road. That opens back up Tuesday and Wednesday. And they get a Monday off in there. And then it goes back to Dodger Stadium for a potential game 5. So game 4, game 5, if necessary there. List off your starting rotation for me. Game 1, game 2. And then game 3 with a day in between.
Flaherty, Yamamoto, Buehler.
Okay.
I think that's pretty locked in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Yamamoto's not going on short rest. It's just not happening. Jack Flaherty is going to be the guy. If anyone's going to be pushed for this, 2 starts in a 5-game series, 7-game series, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's for sure going to be. So I know for whatever people think, he's about his head his warts there. He's been given up some shots, giving up some contact here, but guys will play up. I love what I've seen from Yamamoto here. He fared fairly solid in Colorado. Good little taste there. I'm feeling good, Blake. I'm feeling good. How you feeling?
About as good as I can feel for a playoff series, but we'll see once that day actually moves closer.
For sure. Not much else. Not much else there. It's kind of wait and see. I'm going to be a fan of baseball tomorrow. It's extra baseball, everybody. It's regular season ball, but with some postseason implications here. So if you want to tune in to get some postseason feel, tune into that doubleheader. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be a crazy thing. I really wanted to see how if, Rob Manfred would have possibly not had them play that, but I think the Brewers would have been pissed because that's going into that series there. Whoever playing without having to play that 18 innings for whatever reason, it ended up not happening there. But what do you say of the Diamondbacks collapse and being at this point? What can you say about that? You can joke about it. I see a little smirk in there.
Kind of relates to Christian Walker going down, getting the injury. I think Ketel Marte was out for a bit with an injury. Unfortunate for them, but they had their nice little run last year. Let's let someone else have it this year.
All right. You heard it from there. We'll wrap it up. I really want to go into, the Dodgers nominated for the All-MLB team here. And there are 7 names. We can go straight down the list here. Blake, do you have those pulled up or you want me to take that straight on?
Yeah, I can throw them out there.
Let's do it, buddy.
It was Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Jack Flaherty, Will Smith, and Alex Vesia. So they're up for the All-MLB team. You can go and vote for them. We'll have a story about it tomorrow on how you can go vote for them and all that. But you just go to MLB.com/All-MLB to cast your votes, and we can talk about who should win, who we want to see win, and all that. But Those are the 7 names.
Just an unbelievable year from Alex Vesia. And I just want to toss this out here that just another terrific performance from him. Just goes out in 2024, 67 games, 1.76 ERA, 66 and a third innings, 87 strikeouts, a sub-1 whip, and he makes people pull their hair out for whatever reason. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of like from last year. He's had very ups and downs in his career. Like he's either completely locked in and he's not allowing anything, or he's the worst pitcher you've ever seen. And there's kind of no in between with him. And I think the worst pitcher you've ever seen part, even if it's for a much shorter time period, does stick out in a lot of people's minds. But yeah, Vesia has been phenomenal. He's one of the best relievers in baseball. And a lot of praise to him. He probably won't finish as one of the winners, but he had a great season.
Yeah, a lot of people are still haunted with his performance against, or that walk-off against the Padres there. They for sure are. That's just what it is. They see the ghosts and they just can't get over it. Can you do me a favor? Anytime the drinking game guy is, guys, that if Dave Roberts puts Vesia back out for a second inning and he walks the first hitter on 4 pitches, because it's twice I've seen that recently, I just never want that to happen again. I just don't want to do it. If he goes out and has a shutdown inning, let it be it. Don't put him back out there for the second inning. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It's just something that's pinpointed in my mind. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah. So also All-MLB team, did you see our old friend Edwin Uceta was nominated?
Blue Seta? That was my name for him when he was with the Dodgers.
Yeah, I was high on him, and you kept making fun of me for him. But 1.51 ERA this year. Edwin Uceta.
That's great. But guess what? Guess who couldn't do it? Guess who couldn't make that happen? He couldn't do it with the Dodgers. That's on him. You're not going to pull that out and run around.
Needed a longer leash. The stuff.
That's like people saying. That's like people saying, "Oh, what Luke Raley? Oh yeah, they should have never got rid of him because other teams unlocked something with him." That's just ridiculous stuff. No, they couldn't do it here. I don't care if they figured it out somewhere else. No.
Okay.
No.
Edwin Uceta, All-MLB pitcher.
This guy, man. Nobody let Blake ever do that. Yeah, don't ever, and nobody. Nope. No. Can you give me your 3 outfielders though?
Yeah.
All-MLB?
Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and it's probably a toss-up between Jarren Duran and who was the other guy? Jackson Merrill. I know a lot of people are going to want Teoscar on there, but Merrill had incredible stats. So did Jarren Duran. Both played better defense in center field. So, yeah, it's a toss-up there for me.
Jarren Duran's a stud. He's a good player. A lot of good baseball players around the league right now. Jackson Merrill's scary.
I think Ohtani is the only Dodger who ends up winning. I think we got Vlad at first. We already said Vesia is probably not going to win. We got Contreras as the catcher over Will Smith. Jack Flaherty was really good, but he probably won't be one of the top 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman, Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah, no chance for Will Smith. Not going to happen. Not even close. He could have done it earlier, but fell off a cliff.
Mookie missed too much time. I see him coming up in the chat. Yeah, Teoscar didn't play any defense, or didn't play defense well, I mean, so that's keeping him off for me.
Yeah, Mookie could have done it. He needed more time. His stuff this year, like his numbers this year are unbelievable. Like if he didn't get hurt, it would have been, yeah, he would have pushed. He still would have been number 2 with MVP stuff, but like he would have pushed for another 1-2 there, which would have been remarkable. Yeah, I think goodness. My goodness. Successful year for a lot of these guys. Look where they're at. Best record in ball. We love to see it.
On an individual basis, the Dodgers had the best team in baseball. On the All-MVP voting, they had a lot of worthy contenders, but they were just beat out by a few other people at each spot. Like, it happens. They were all good. Nothing to take away from them. Mookie would have won if he played the entire year. Will Smith would have won if he didn't go into his slump. Things like that happen. Jack Flaherty might have been a more realistic candidate if he didn't kind of regress with the Dodgers. And I know TQT has been talking about his velocity quite a bit in the chat here. So that is something that kept him from being a real contender. But yeah, Alex Vesia too. If he was closing, he might have been an actual candidate.
Yeah. What did I say, guys, at the beginning of the year? You chat, you guys all know what Vesia has been doing. I remember the first couple weeks you were hammering on him. And I was like, just look what he's done. Look at the sample. He's been doing this for a while. His back end of the year was incredible. And he does it again. Weep. I love you guys, but weep. Don't care if I was wrong for like 3 weeks of Gavin Lux's performance. Let's go. Yeah. Everybody recognize Alex Vesia there. Everybody forget what I said about Gavin Lux. He regressed to the mean. Forget. All right, guys. I know it's a short show. Got a couple things going on tonight that I've got to step out for, but toss in some questions. We're going to answer, a few of them here. Please do it. All caps question. And we will see you really soon. This is where we're getting into fun time for baseball. I'm excited for our shows leading into the Division Series stuff. Blake and I are going to be in the lab. We're going to cook up some, postseason prediction stuff, postseason outlook things there, stuff to look out for, specific matchups, things like that. I'm really excited. This is a year that I feel confident in, that we can finally look towards, because it was like so focused on pitching last year that I couldn't really think of anything else. I couldn't think about the offense having, doing what they're doing. It was all about, can the pitching have enough there? Damn, we got Lance Lynn in game 3. We got a broken down Clayton Kershaw to lead it off. And then Bobby Miller in a rookie season. Turn a page. We've got some vets. We've got some vets here in this 2024 roster leading off the postseason. So hopefully they keep us in there. Jake, what's good, bro? Says shout out to his favorite Dodger hosts. Shout out to you, man. We appreciate you joining in. As always, let's cook. Okay, guys, put those in. Blake's starring them up. If you've gotten anything, again, I know who wanted to see the mullet.
Oh yeah,
got the mullet going. Yep. And I didn't even make you guys pay for it. Ridiculous. Fraud. Brent Honeywell, man. I love that guy. Turtleneck. What a dog. All right. Noisy Ninja question. Any belief that the Phillies tanked for the 2 seed? I love texting my buddies about this. Blake was hitting me up like, I can't believe they're tanking. It was just
hey.
Yeah. Are they going to get some baseball karma? Blake, don't ask Blake. Blake's so literal in life, guys. Like, you have no clue. Blake is everything sucks. This is baseball stinks. Happiness is nowhere. Like,
I don't think they tanked. I think they just didn't play good baseball. I mean, they played really well for most of the year. They were bound to have losses too. I don't believe they tanked. I don't think any team's trying to do that.
That was great to talk about, though. For sure, great to talk about. Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh, I don't know about that one. Bueller and Knack might be in for short starts. What do you think of splitting them up in the rotation to avoid Penn overuse? Or Penn might work overtime in October. Interesting stuff. That's the reason why, like, the conversation of a guy like Ben Kasparius, for a roster spot, and so many of those bulk guys, those multi-inning relievers. It's a reason why I'm considering a few of those names in. Where do you kind of stand on that? Like, the short leash will be there. There's no way that Dave Roberts is going to allow or can allow either of them to work through some stuff. It's going to be not do or die where you just exert everyone, but kind of what would your plan be for Walker Buehler, Landon Knack for short starts to get the most out of them? Just kind of jam pack them in, high effort.
I like TQT's idea about splitting them up to avoid that. I also think if you go into like a 1-1 series on the road, it would be nice to have Yamamoto or Flaherty instead of Walker Buehler, with essentially your season kind of on the line there. I just don't think they're going to do it that way. They're going to push to go up 2-0 with their best 2 starters at home and then try and play it out from there. The off days kind of help with pen usage. So I don't think they'll do it, but I do like the idea. I think it's worth discussing.
Yeah, definitely worth it. All right, Kira says, who will be in the NLDS press box?
Yeah, so Matt will be covering the NLDS for us, and if they go to the LCS and World Series, I'll be doing those ones. So
Wait. That way. There we go. This guy will be in there. Big Blake Williams, absolutely beaming down, making sure that Shohei Ohtani, he can't scream. He can't root for anybody. But he's going to be sitting there, eyes like a hawk. And he'll be texting me raging every single pitch, all of it.
yeah, we're not supposed to cheer in the press box, but when I was there for the Padre series, I heard some things from Padre media there cheering a bit.
Big Blake Williams, baby. Wait, Padre, they were cheering? Padres media was cheering?
Not the beat writers. I think it was like TV crew that were there, like just camera guys and stuff that came in. So
Fernando.
Yeah.
You cannot do it any better. It's the best, man. It's so funny. All right.
Don't forget to tweet lots. Yeah, if we're in the LCS and World Series, I'll be sending out a lot.
Yeah, Blake will be on fire. Blake's gonna be dialed in. I'll just do this real quick. Do you like pumpkin spice coffee? I have one every day, twice a day.
I don't like coffee, so yeah.
Yep.
Pumpkin teas, though.
You say what?
Pumpkin tea? I tried. Yeah, I talked about that in the chat. I tried the pumpkin pie tea or chai from Disneyland. Wasn't a huge fan. Not gonna lie, but they have a pumpkin spice tea. So I'm gonna try that sometime.
You cannot do any better, Fernando. All right. Roger Dern, there we go. If Rojas is off the NLDS roster, who do you think the Dodgers put on the roster? Kevin Kiermaier?
Probably. I think Rojas is going to be on the roster, but it would probably be Kevin Kiermaier, because then you play Tommy Edman as your shortstop, so you kind of open up center field there.
I see people talking about, I saw you guys talk about Tommy Edman kind of slumping here. He's had a lot of matchups versus righties, guys. Like, we know it's not his ideal spot. Like, we talked about that. He's having some run production there and in different moments, but average certainly is not there. He's got pretty stark splits. But again, it's not going to be a conversation of platooning him. I don't see that being a thing. He's too valuable out here. He's way too valuable. He's gonna be there. What do you about Andy Pages real quick? Talk about Andy Pages of what you've seen from him. What have you seen differently, and what do you think that we're going to see as far as platoon wise? Is he going to get some more run here? What are you seeing from him?
I keep saying he should be starting versus lefties, but they haven't really given him that opportunity. If Rojas is healthy, I see him as a pinch hitter off the bench, probably their primary option there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I see a huge runway for him to get much playing time as a starter unless Rojas is out or he needs to sit a day or something like that. So he's earned his playoff spot, though, that's for sure.
G-Rob, any word on Freddie Freeman? I don't think so, not yet.
Getting better, allegedly, but they're still hopeful he's going to be in the lineup.
Yeah. I see people talking about who's commenting in the NLDS. I don't know. I know that it's on Fox or FS1.
I can pull that up real quick.
Yeah, to do that, I'll buy some time here. He says, was the balk yesterday intentional to prevent Ohtani from getting a stolen base? If you're referring to like the Rockies not wanting to give him a stolen base, I mean, I don't think they're. You guys remember the Padres or the Rockies were talking about, what was it? Oh yeah, he's not getting 50-50 against us. We won't let that happen. Like, that might have been the thing, but I don't think they care about steals for sure. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, the Dodgers are on Fox or Fox Sports 1 with Joe Davis and John Smoltz. Oh, that's for the World Series. I don't know who's calling the game for the NLDS yet.
EB says, has Dodger Blue ever gotten into an argument with another Dodger YouTube channel? No. Nope. Everybody else does their thing. We do ours. Like, everybody's got their audience, and they kind of bleed into one another. Everybody's got their viewpoint on stuff. Now, people have their own thing. We respect everybody's thing. Everybody's doing their thing. Let's see here. All right, guys. Enrico, here we go. My bad. Who do Scott and Blake think will make a run on the AL side of the playoffs? I'm going to say that people hate it, but the Astros are always going to be, pushing for stuff there. Blake, who's kind of where are you at on with the Astros?
They're irrelevant, not real. Don't like them. Don't care for them. Not an answer for me.
What do you like in the American League besides the Houston Astros?
And I want to
Are
see
you
a
a
Dodger
Guardians
Yankees.
believer?
No, I don't believe.
Are
in
you a New
Guardians
York
at all.
Yankees believer?
I want to see Yankees, Dodgers, LA, New York, Ohtani, Judge, Soto, Mookie. Like, come on. That's what MLB wants. You know it. I think it would be a ton of fun. So much history there with the two teams.
It would be great television.
But it's probably going to be like something ridiculous like Tigers or Royals.
Don't let the Tigers get hot.
Yeah, I mean,
You laugh. Don't laugh.
no, their pitching's great.
Nope. Don't laugh. Don't let them get hot. Don't do that.
I think they are hot right now.
America's Tigers. America's Tigers. They're coming. Storming the dance. You know what happens when teams storm the dance?
Why is everyone saying I love the Red Sox?
Because Boston Blake.
I like the Patriots, and I like to
Boston
troll
Blake.
about the
You
Celtics.
can't escape that. You owned it for a long time.
That's fine, but I don't really care for the Red Sox.
Thoughts on Royals, Orioles, real quick.
Orioles would be fun, I think, for the World Series if they play. I think they still pull it off against the Royals, but you never know with the playoffs.
Let me see. People keep asking about Freddie Freeman. Matt, Scott equals handsome. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you. Love you, man. People keep asking about Freddie Freeman, and somebody brought up that David Vassegh thinks Freddie will miss a couple games there. Any concern level, or you're just TBD? You got to wait and see what the first report is and kind of where he's at.
I feel like Freddie is the type of person who would push through whatever. Like, if he can stand on it, I feel like he'll be out there. I don't know. It's kind of to be determined for me.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of, not many questions, guys. Not many questions about the team and the 26 man. Just hopefully, yeah, Kenny says no concern about Freddie Freeman. No concern. No concern. I mean, of course, with an injury, there's always like, oh, how much can he push it? Stuff like that. But as far as availability, what Blake said, Freddie Freeman is, veteran of the game. Like, he's going to do whatever he can, absolutely whatever he can to be on that field. And I have no doubt about it. Let's see. F says, Scott Blake, are you guys excited to watch Bobby Witt Jr. versus future Dodger Gunnar Henderson? Yeah.
Yeah.
I said this is one of the best times I've seen for young shortstops in the game. It's incredible. There's so much shortstop talent.
It kind of rivals when Seager, Tatis, and not Tatis, Correa. Who's the other guy? Was that? I'm drawing a blank on the other guy who was like young and upcoming at that time, but someone will probably throw it in the chat. But that was the last time where there's really like good shortstops in the league that were like this. I think this group is probably better than that one. Yeah, Lindor. Yeah, Gunnar Henderson. I've made my thoughts known about him quite a lot. Huge fan. Big nerd. Lego guy. Star Wars guy.
Nerd.
Bring him over to the Dodgers.
Geek. Love the nerds, man. Blake's biggest nerd ever. Love him. That's my guy. I know you do not care who the Dodgers play because at the end of the day, it's all roads lead to something. Who would you rather play in the first round here of the postseason for the Dodgers National League Division Series?
Probably the Braves, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I really have no preference or feelings. Like, every time we seem like they have the good matchup, they end up losing. We feel like they have a bad matchup, they end up winning. So Braves, they're injured. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I got you. Don't sweat it. We got a lot to talk about. Thursday's coming, then we'll know. Then we can talk about that matchup and break it down more in depth and worry about it when we have to. John tosses his last one up here. Thank you, Scott and Blake. Love the show. Go Dodgers. Thanks, John. We appreciate you always joining in. 1,200 in here across all social medias. We appreciate it a bunch. Thank you for joining. Short show tonight. I know Blake and I always try to push these hour 45s, but we're jam-packed today. Thanks for joining us on this 162. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We've got a lot of prep, a lot of postseason prep coming up. We're going to keep you all posted. We're going to break a lot of things down here on Dodger Blue, Dodger Heads. Jeff, Matt, Blake, Anthony, myself, I know D Stark's going to be joining us, as much as he can here. But as always, we appreciate you guys. Do us a quick favor, like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Stay tuned with a lot of the stuff we've got coming in here. We're going to do our best to break down as much going in. But till then, tune in tomorrow. Root for whatever scenario you want. If you're rooting for the Mets, if you're rooting for the Braves, D-backs, you want to see them continue to crumble. And if you just want chaos, Blake loves chaos. I'm rooting for chaos. More chaos is the best. But just, like, subscribe, notification bell. We will see you soon. All right? Keep tabs on us. Blake will keep us posted. I'll keep us posted. Kenny, Jake, Iris, everybody, Roy, Nomo, thanks all the regulars. Thanks for everybody tuning in for the first time. Stick around for the postseason. This is when things get pretty hectic. This is chaos time. This is when all that 162 could be gone in an instant. And hopefully it's not in the DS because I need to see it before I can believe it. All right, guys, we'll see you all soon. As always, I'm Scott Geirman. This is Blake Williams. We appreciate you all. Go Dodgers.